Perfect. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 1 hour ChatGPT workshop. Thank you for joining in. I will share my screen and we'll immediately get started and people can keep joining as they come in the meeting, right? Let me know when my screen is visible, everyone. Can anyone give me a confirmation in chat or unmute yourself and just let me know that my screen is visible and I'm clearly
Yes, sir.
audible.
Visible.
Yeah, and I'm audible as well correctly.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Right. So a quick question to everyone. All of you part of the analytics workshop that is going on. Have you used ChatGPT extensively? All of you.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone who has not used ChatGPT at all? I hope not. Right. So let me just present my screen, right? And we'll go through a few slides and then we'll do some hands-on stuff, and I'll show you some cool tips and trips and tricks. Right? I'll show you some cool tips and tricks. So why ChatGPT is a big deal? All of you are aware. It came out in November 2022. Almost 1.5 years back. So it reached. It was one of the fastest tools to reach 1 million users. Right? It broke records of Instagram, Spotify, Netflix, etc. And the other aspect regarding GPTs is that not just ChatGPT or OpenAI as an organization, but the whole concept that something like this can be democratized and everyone, as in other organizations, can have access to it, has also been a very big deal because PwC has its own GPT. McKinsey has its own GPT. This one, the one which is called Meet Lily, this is for McKinsey. Bloomberg has created its own. JP Morgan has created its own. Salesforce is doing something. SAP is doing something. Each organization is doing something or the other. Given that now the technology is democratized, the technology is in everyone's hands. You pay for it by subscribing to either other companies that are giving you the services like OpenAI, or you create your own large language models, right? But the technology of it has now been widely adopted and is very democratized. Uh, why is it a big deal? Because specifically the Chat GPT and the Open AI bit, because Microsoft's investment in OpenAI goes beyond the monetary aspects. It is because if you are aware, Microsoft has introduced something called as Copilot. So within Excel, within PowerPoint, within Word, within each and every product in the Microsoft suite of products, there is going to be Copilot. So for Power BI, you have Power BI Copilot, you have a Fabric Copilot. For PowerPoint, you have a Copilot. For Word, you have a Copilot. And the best part is if your files are on one single drive, which is OneDrive for Microsoft, you can just write a prompt or put in the link to your file, let's say a Word document, and it can create a PowerPoint for you, right? So we have Copilot in Windows as well. If you're updated on the Windows 11, this is the Copilot logo that you see here. So if you open that on the right hand side, the Copilot opens up. So this is Windows Copilot. This is for working on your Windows. You don't have to go and find options, like take a screenshot, change some settings. All of that can be done here, right? Let us quickly run through the other slides and then go to ChatGPT directly, right? So like I said, Copilot is now available. So when Copilot first came in, when Microsoft announced Copilot, they announced it only for enterprise clients. And they said that organizations will have to buy a minimum of 300 licenses. But that was very costly. And that cap was, the rule was an irony in the sense that Microsoft is saying that we want to democratize AI, put it in the hands of everyone. And then they're restricting organizations by saying that you have to buy it for at least 300 people. Then they quickly went back on that. So now individuals like you and me, if you have a business account or a personal account subscription for the latest Microsoft 365, we can also pay an additional of $30 to subscribe to Microsoft Copilot. So now individuals can also subscribe to it, right? So Copilot is like this. So you have this button in PowerPoint, and when you click on that, it can do anything and everything for you within PowerPoint or within other aspects, right? Let's not get into this, right? So GitHub, if any one of you is into coding, GitHub has its own Copilot, and GitHub is also owned by Microsoft. So whatever Copilots are available in the Microsoft products in GitHub. This is the same technology that OpenAI is also using, and hence the Microsoft and OpenAI partnership. So this is a glossary. When I send this, you can go back and refer. This is on the Salesforce website. Yeah, this is on the Salesforce website. So it's a generative AI glossary from A to Z for business leaders, essentially, right? Let us now come directly to a few examples. Let us, try out a few examples. Let's come to writing prompts, right? So when you're working on ChatGPT, right, let's say you want to you want to create or ask ChatGPT for three marketing metrics. Also, I am currently on the free version. I'm on GPT 3.5. So if I just write three marketing metrics and I press enter, you will see that it'll give me three marketing metrics from whatever it wants to, whatever it is generating. If I want to edit this prompt, I can go at the top and click on this pen, right? Also, if you guys are aware of the basic stuff, you can just let me know. I will then move on. I will not spend time on explaining the nitty-gritties, right? So you can edit the prompt from here. And when you edit a prompt, let's say I make it five for some reason, and I save and submit, you will see that a number is appearing here, 2 out of 2. So basically, whatever prompt you change in the input, you can go back to the previous prompt and change the entire output. So if I had a lengthy 10-step conversation here, where on the basis of the output, I had given additional prompts after prompts after prompts, I can always come back to it. It is never lost unless and until I delete it from my pane over here on the sidebar. If I click on the three dots here and delete it, only then will it get deleted. Otherwise, it stays there, right? It stays in my sidebar. Similarly, one very important tip that you should be using is you should use dictate. Let me just go to a new window in ChatGPT, right? So if you press Windows plus H, H for house, Windows plus H, it opens up the inbuilt text speech to text feature of Microsoft that is there in Windows. So I can just enable this. Please create three marketing metrics and three finance metrics and put them in a table. Stop this.
Sir,
Uh,
what was the shortcut key?
Windows plus H. Windows plus H. H for Haryana. Windows plus H. Right. So you would say that, I can type it as well. You can, but when you're writing very long prompts, and many of the times you will be writing very long prompts because your problem is very complex, or you want to get suggestions on something that is not very simple. You have to explain it in 10, 15 lines. In that case, typing is much more helpful, right? It is much more easier. And
Yes, sir. Like I didn't know this feature,
yeah.
so I used to use the keyboard wala audio.
There are two things, but this is inbuilt. So this is from Microsoft. So all Windows laptop will have this, right? And if you look at this in the end, I also mentioned that, put them in a table. So let me just quickly reload. Not sure why this is. Yeah. So when you ask it to put them in a table, it puts it in a very structured manner, right? You see that it is creating two separate tables for you on your instruction. If I don't put the last bit, if I just say give me three marketing and three finance metrics, it's going to give me three standard points, right? But if I quickly change this example and I say, I come back to the previous prompt, put them in the table, also add a use case for, let's say, advertising industry. For some reason, let's say you want to look at advertising industry, you want to look at what are the three most important metrics in marketing and in finance within the advertising industry, and we'll also add a use case in the third column. So just look at this. This is super cool. So it is creating the metric for you. It is saying that customer acquisition cost, your CAC. Let me just zoom out. 1 second. Yeah. Right? It is saying that what is the description for your CAC? What is the description for ROI, which is the financial metric? And then it is also giving you separate use cases. Now it has put use cases separately. Why it has put them separately? Because the prompt where I say put them in a table, after that I've written that add the use cases as well. So I can quickly change that and I can bring that down here. I can remove that from here, right? And now it'll put that use case also within the table itself. And you have a comprehensive table that you can refer to for your projects or for any of the use case, right? Within organizations, this is very helpful because a lot of times you have some internal documents, you have some internal metrics, right? For example, if you're applying for internships, you might not see a lot of KPIs, or you will have the section for on the job description. When you apply for an internship, you will have roles and responsibilities. But when you apply for a proper full-time job, you join the organization, you are assigned KPIs, key performance indicators, or key responsibility areas, KPIs and KRAs, and those are tracked across. But uh, from my experience, no organization will like have a standard table wherein your KPI will be defined, and this will be, for example, if my KPI is I have to create a report and report analytics. Reporting and analytics is one of my KPIs or KRAs, my KRAs, and within that I have multiple KPIs that I have to create a report, I have to create dashboards, I have to update dashboards. These are my KPIs, right? So there is no definition for this that organizations sit and prepare. But now with ChatGPT, you can put in your KPIs, right? And it'll create the definition for you, and you can always tweak the definition as per your specific requirement. And like I said, now I specified advertising industry. That's why I put the use case for the advertising industry, right? So if you read it, in the advertising industry, CAC, customer acquisition cost, helps gauge the efficiency of advertising campaigns in acquiring new clients or customers, right? Now let's move on to some other examples. Yeah. So if you also specify, adding on to what we did, you specify that you want just the names, it'll give you just the names. You specify, similarly, you specify just the names, it'll give you just the names. And there are a few other prompts that you can try. So just to check, people feel that, many of the times, even today, people feel that generative AI is not creating from scratch, because people feel that since it has been trained on data from the internet, on everything available on the internet, people feel that it is picking up information from somewhere. It is not doing that. The model has learned, is learning, and is generating new information for you. For example, which college you guys are from? Shahid Sukhdev, na, all of you? Hello.
No,
No,
sir.
sir, not all of us.
Okay, let's leave the college. What courses are is what Garima? What course are you pursuing in your undergrad?
Sir, BCom.
BCom. Now tell me, has someone written a poem on Bachelor of Commerce? You will say, "ठीक someone has written it, right?" Which college are you from, Garima?
Sir, I am doing it from Seoul.
Sorry,
Sir, I am doing it from Seoul.
Seoul.
Yes, sir. I am doing side by side courses.
चलो कोई नहीं. We'll write Shahid Sukhdev for now to just keep it simple. What is Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies? अब आप बताइए, is is this written somewhere? No, right? This is when you press enter, it'll write a poem for you, right? In the halls where commerce reigns supreme, at Shahid Sukhdev College, a scholar's dream, I embark on a journey, a quest for insight in the realm of numbers where equations ignite. You will not find this anywhere on the internet. There is zero plagiarism in this because your prompt is very specific, your prompt is very unique. And we cover this example in a lot of corporate trainings as well. Whatever company we're at, we say write a poem about the XYZ company, and it is able to write it. So this example does not have a lot of use case, but this is only to show and illustrate that the word generative AI means that it is generating everything from scratch. Right? It's written the whole poem for you. Let's create a
But
new
sir,
chat.
it can
Hmm?
like frame a poem for any college because it just
Huh?
needs
Anything and
to
everything.
change the
What's
name
your
only.
name? What's your name?
Saksham.
Uh, Tell me, let's say you're a student pursuing BCom from Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies. Is this there somewhere? No. The whole point of generative AI is, I don't know if your name is included here. Your name is here. So Saksham's presence dispels all gloom. With a smile that brightens the darkest day, he spreads warmth and kindness along the way. So the whole point of this example is that you can. So for example, people feel when I showed you the example for three marketing metrics, You will say that if I go to Google, I can find three marketing metrics. But when you go to Google, you will not find three marketing metrics and their use cases in advertising, real estate, healthcare, IT, or 10 different industries. But if you specify that here, ChatGPT will put that in a table for you, right? Saksham, did you have something else on your mind? Like another question?
सर मतलब आई वाज सेइंग कि ऐसे वो तो मतलब सबके लिए ही प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं, बस उसको नेम ही तो चेंज करना है।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, आप समझे नहीं। ठीक है, उसको नेम ही चेंज नहीं करना है। आप देखो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सिंस आई रोट शहीद सुखदेव, इट इज डूइंग दैट, राइट? अभी इस वाले चैट में वट एवर आई डू, it is going to be different, right? If I, it's not just the name. It's not just the name. It is. So you're saying that it is changing the name of the poem?
यस सर।
No, it's not doing that. Just pay attention. I'll write my name. ठीक है? And as soon as I press enter, do you see when I write consultant, I write analytics. The words that it uses are very different. Data whispers, secrets, intellect, expands, insights, algorithms, charts, data, strategy, query. Now you come back to what we had written for you, what ChatGPT had written for you, not us. In the halls of learning, bright and bold, where knowledge blooms and dreams unfold. Because it knows, it can identify Shahid Sukhdev College of Commerce, right? Because this exists on the internet and it has been existing before whatever the cut. What is the cutoff date? Let me just check. Uh, 1 second. It's not mentioned here, but I think the cutoff date is April 2023, I think. April 2023, right? So it's not updating the content. It's not just putting your name. If I change Saksham to something else and if I change the college to something else, it'll not keep on iterating the same poem and not replace Shahid Sukhdev with a different college or Saksham with a different name. It is generating everything fresh, new, right? So I hope you got that.
यस
Okay.
सर।
Yeah. Something else that you can also try is you can, these are multiple examples that we have here, right? We'll not go into these
Excuse
right now.
me, sir.
Hmm.
Sir,
Yes,
can we create logos out of ChatGPT?
not on the free version. So, for example, if you go to the plus version, right, you can now, you have the access to refer to different plugins, right? You have the, so if I just go to plugins here, there are plugins for Canva and all. So you have a Canva plugin, and I think that can create logo for you. This plugin can create logo for you, right? Apart from this, if you don't want to use any plugins, so let's say, Garima, what do you want to create a logo for?
Sir, like normal logo for any company or like any
Now you have to be,
fictional character.
no, so you have to be very specific. When you write create a logo, you have to give it something, right? Your prompts need to be concise and specific, right?
Like sir,
Hmm.
I have like homework and I was creating MOA, some random thing. So for like I thought of a cafe. So like
Okay.
something for cafe.
Okay, for a cafe based in India, based in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, based in Delhi. And what is like what are the things that you want to sell at this cafe?
No, sir, I just want like a logo, like the
Okay.
Paytm has like a
No,
logo,
the whole
specific logo,
point is,
like
if you, the more specific you make it, it will work. But this does not work on GPT 4, 3.5. This works only on GPT 4. On GPT 3.5, you cannot upload your files. Neither can you generate anything apart from text. GPT 3.5 is restricted only to text. GPT 4, by the way, which I'm using right now, this is a paid version. So I wrote create a logo for a cafe based in Delhi, and you see that it is creating an image. It takes some time. Earlier, it used to create 4 images, but now it creates two, right? So let's just wait for a second for it to load. But the quality of these images is dependent on the details of your prompt, right? If you write something very generic, even what we've written right now is very generic, create a logo for a cafe. The only detail that we've given is cafe and Delhi location, right? So you haven't told it a name. Okay, this is the name of the cafe. For you to create a logo, you should ideally specify a name, right? So it'll put anything that it wants. Also, when it creates images, it is not good with text, right? So it tried to write Delhi, but it can't write Delhi because it is not good with adding text to images. But you see, it does a fairly good job. If you just ask it not to put the text, it will not put the text. But you see the India Gate, you see the Lotus, I think that's the Lotus Temple. I hope that's the Lotus Temple, right? So it does create it for you. Also, not two, it will give you only one output at this point in time, and you can always click on it and download this. And the other thing that you can do is it also tells you if you what the prompt is, right? So I had written three specific words: cafe in Delhi. Look at the prompt that is written to create this image. Design a logo for a cafe based in Delhi. The logo should incorporate elements that symbolize Delhi, such as the iconic India Gate or the Lotus Temple. I was correct about it, which is both a national symbol and reminiscent of the Lotus Temple in Delhi. The color scheme should reflect warmth and hospitality with earthy tones and hint. You get the idea, right? Acha, it's put the name also. So by default, it is adding a name as well because you haven't specified anything. So if you haven't specified anything, how will ChatGPT know what to do? So it uses its own brains to put a name, put a color, put a theme, etc. Right? But this is only available on the paid version. On the free version, you can't do this, right?
Sir,
What
I think it is available, but like not on ChatGPT, but like on other platforms with AI.
haha, on ChatGPT free version, you will not get it. There is one tool called Ideogram. I'm not sure if I have login access for this because they had a wait list. Uh, Let me check if I have an account. So Ideogram is basically a free tool where you can create images by writing. I have a. So yeah. So
Yes, sir, this only.
create a logo for a cafe in Delhi, and here it will work. This is completely free. But again, with images, videos generated by AI, you need a lot of iterations, or you have to be very specific. Something like this, right? This can also work if you want it just for this. I've not specified the name of the cafe. If you do that, it'll add the name as well. Right. Coming back to, yeah. So whatever content it's creating is original because if I, these are four different examples, right? How can marketing effectively communicate unique value proposition, combining tech with healthcare? Write 200 words, write in 5 bullet points, write as a social media and an email, and write under three headings: executive summary, key offering, and glossary. They should also give you the idea of whatever output you want from ChatGPT. You've explained the context, you explained the topic, that is fine, but the way you want to structure the output, right, can be very different. You would want it under specific headings. You might want 3 bullet points under three separate headings. You have to clearly call out this and specify this in your prompt, or else ChatGPT is not going to know what you want and it'll assume, and assumption is never good. Another very cool thing. Let's try this. So you open a chat, come back, paste it. I will give you a prompt, read it, then provide me with a highly detailed prompt. So I'll not put the prompt right now. I'm just telling ChatGPT that I will be giving you a prompt, read it, and then provide me with a highly detailed prompt. When I put this, it'll say that, sure, please provide the prompt you'd like me to elaborate on. Now I can put the prompt and it'll make this prompt more detailed, right? Do you see? It is writing based on your one line, it is creating a very detailed prompt. And now if your prompt is at such level of detail, can you just imagine what the output will be, right? So it can help you improve your prompts as well. There's another website for this, but it is not free. It's called Prompt Perfect. It's not free. You get like a few credits, but it's not free. They have a plugin in ChatGPT 4 as well, but you can only use it to a certain extent. So here again, you put your prompts and it'll make it very detailed and it'll improve your prompts, right? Perfect. Coming back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so these are some, so convert good to bad. This is what we exactly did, right? Some prefix ideas of how you should ask or communicate or ask a question with ChatGPT. So these are some prefix ideas that you can use. You could write, could you please explain? I need information about. So ideally what people do is, let's say you want information about equity markets. So we'll just write equity markets on ChatGPT, right? That's not the correct way to do it. You have to put a prefix, right? You could write, could you please explain about the equity markets? Then make it more specific. by adding suffixes like in India, right? In the year 1990 to, let's say, 2010, whatever period you want to look at. So the whole idea is that when you put a prefix, if I just put HR retention strategies, the output would not be like this. For example, if I just go to a new chat and I write HR retention strategies. So it'll just give me an output. There are multiple competitive compensation, career development, work-life balance, R&R, open communication, right? But if I follow it up, if I add a prefix at the beginning, such as how can I improve my HR retention strategies, and then I add a suffix which makes it more detailed. I am from healthcare sector in India. And the headers will be same, but let me turn off the slideshow. The headers will be same, but the content, the points within those will be specified to the sector that you specified, or specified to the level of detail that you have given in the prompt, right? Organization, it'll specifically talk about the healthcare sector. Or also stop me anywhere in between where you feel you guys have any questions. Take care. Okay, this is also very cool. So discuss methods to measure the ROI of marketing campaigns, particularly in B2B healthcare tech setting. So this is something called as role play. So wherein you tell ChatGPT to act like someone. For example, if you're preparing for an interview, you can pick up a job description, put it in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to act like an interviewer and give you a list of 10, 15, 20 questions one by one, and then wait for you to answer. And then you type in your answer, and then it will give you the next question. And then you can ask it to evaluate all your answers and tell how you performed or what you could have improved. In that scenario, when you have to type in answers, that is where you can use Windows Edge, speech to text, right? So this is what the output would look like. And without the prompt, I want you to act like a BCG consultant, ask me a question to understand my need, read my responses, then give me a response. Without this, the output would not be of high quality. Just the prompt, just the 2 lines would not be of high quality, would not generate a high quality output, right? Then you can ask it to refer to existing frameworks. Now, the BCG growth share matrix, right, has been a very established matrix for a very long time, or the MECE principle for that matter. So these metrics are available on the internet. They've been around for a very long time. So you can ask ChatGPT to specifically structure the output referring to that framework, right? So stars, cash cow, and it'll do it in the exact same way that the framework was structured. Creating better prompts, right? So you can use some frameworks. For example, in marketing, you have the IDA model, HTB framework, 7Ps. In HR, you have SHRM, Maslow hierarchy of needs, or the HR analytics. In data analytics, you have KDD, OSEMN. Similarly, in other functions as well. This is just examples that we've given. So like the BCG growth share matrix, you can specify that you want to refer to a specific matrix or an existing framework, right? Another thing that ChatGPT can do very well is it can help you understand information at different levels. I think Saksham had asked a question, right? So if I try to Google what is blockchain, Google is an index, right? It tells me that these are the results wherein this information is available, right? But ChatGPT is generating content, because when I type in something like explain blockchain, assume I'm a fifth grader, assume I'm an undergrad, assume I'm a working professional with some knowledge, assume I am an expert. It is giving me that on the same topic, blockchain, it'll give me information at 4 different levels, right? Like this, for example, create a cross section of social media posts for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter for International Women's Day. So the post for Facebook will be different, the post for LinkedIn will be different, the post for Twitter will be completely different. So it'll know that it has to follow a certain number of characters. It has to keep the tone professional on LinkedIn. It has to keep the tone a little casual on Facebook. It has to keep the context or the content very short when it is creating it for Twitter. Let's quickly look at some theory. So there are different types of prompting. There is zero shot, one shot, and few shot. Zero shot prompting is you put in a prompt and the output is generated and you're happy with the output, that is the expected output. You do not need to train the model by giving it multiple prompts. One shot is when you give it an example, when you give it an example prompt and it is able to understand, and then you give it, and then you specify that this is not the output that I want, and then it is able to give you the correct output in the second attempt. Few shot is when you give multiple prompts to the model, to the LLM or to ChatGPT in this case, and it is able to understand after multiple prompting. This also depends on the complexity of the example that you're dealing with and the problem statement that you're working around or trying to get an output generated for. Right. Summarize. So GPT-4 can read links. GPT 3.5 cannot read links. So let's say you have an article, right? Let's open this article. Key trends in digital advertising 2024. Now, how do you put this on GPT 3.5? You will have to copy the text. There is no other method for you to do it. But the advantage is as soon as you copy the text, right? And you can come and paste it here. There's also a limit of certain words when you want to paste something on GPT. And once I paste this, I can come back. I can ask it to do multiple things, right? So I can ask it to summarize the article, show me the headings, create an 8-slide PowerPoint outline for you. Then you can ask it a critical thinking question that based on the article, what are the implications on India's AI ecosystem, media buying firms, and hiring talent? You can then ask it to create two columns for two separate things. In column one, so you want to create a table. Again, critical thinking, elaborative thinking. Then you want to create FAQs, MCQs, and extract keywords. In one single prompt, I have asked it to do 10 different things, and it will very easily do it for me. It is writing a summary, it is giving me the headings, then it is creating the PowerPoint outline for me, right? Introduction, transitioning beyond third party, AI, challenges of cross channel measurement. It is talking about implications regarding the question that I asked, wherein what are the implications of India's AI ecosystem? Then is hiring talent, FAQs, and then it is creating MCQs as well. Just the level of detail and granularity that you can go into is totally dependent on the details that you specify within your prompts. So I asked it to extract keywords and it's doing the exact same thing. Earlier, if you had to do this, you needed to know a little bit of Python, not a little bit, good fundamental knowledge of Python. You needed to understand which library to use to go and do a keyword extraction, do a sentiment analysis, do a summary, create a summary out of larger text. But still, the output, the quality of the output would not have been as good as what ChatGPT can create for you, right? Let us quickly go to some different examples, right? You guys are learning Excel, right? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So if I give you a data set, if you're given a data set and you're asked to analyze, you will be able to come up with ideas for sure. But again, it'll take some time. If three of you are working in a group, you might be able to come up with 10, 15 ideas, right? Where does ChatGPT help you? Even the free version. Let's say I have a data set. Let me go to the new chat. Why am I going to new chat, everyone? Because what happens is within one single chat, if I now put in something, ChatGPT is always going to always remember what was the conversation that had happened above, right? In the previous prompts. So every time I go to a new chat, because I want to start afresh, I don't want it to refer to any previous conversations. So I can paste it here that I have these columns in my data set. I have been asked to analyze the data and create a dashboard. Give me 20 ideas, right? And in one single click, you will see that based on just your column headers. I have not uploaded my data set. I have just told it what my column headers are. It gets even crazy in the next level because in GPT-4, you can upload your data set and you can ask ChatGPT to do the analysis, and it uses Python for doing it, right? And it does it. Now, these are one line explanations, right? You can ask ChatGPT to explain each in detail, and it will go in depth into all of them, right? You can ask it how to do it in Excel, how to do it in Power BI, what is the step-by-step process, and it'll create that step-by-step process for you as well, right? These are for Excel. So you can ask ChatGPT to, give you more advanced ideas. You can, if you have a data set, you can specify what you want to do, and it will help you do that as well. So for example, in this example, you wanted to lock cells in column C and H so that users cannot make any changes. So then when you ask this in ChatGPT, it'll tell you the step-by-step process of how you would do it in Excel. Similarly, it can write formulas for you and it can explain formulas for you. For example, if I copy this formula and I come back to ChatGPT, it does not know the context of my formula, but as soon as I put it, it'll know that this is an Excel formula, right? And it will break it down for me and it'll try to explain the formula to me. Even if I'm not able to understand this, I can go one more level where I can say simplify this, and I can say I am a beginner in Excel. When I put something very specific, then look at the output. Here, it is literally explaining what each syntax or each function means or each argument means. It is saying that if is a logical function and is where you specify your conditions. C2 greater than or equal to B2 is checks whether C2 is greater than or equal to B2, right? F2 less than today, so it is saying what is today. The today function returns the current date. But when I say that I am a beginner, right? I am a beginner, I simplify this for me. So then it is changing the approach with which it is trying to explain, right? If all three conditions are met, the result is eligible, otherwise the result is no. So rather than going into what is if, what is and, what is today, it is not going into the formula. It is just telling me, since it knows that I'm a beginner, I'll not be able to understand the formula. It just says that the formula is doing three things. It is checking if value in C2 is greater than B2. It is checking if D2 or E2 has Y. And it is checking if the date in F2 is within the last 2 years, and it is writing the formula. And if you copy and paste this will work perfectly. All right, let's look at a different example now. Let's come out of Excel. Yeah, so on Plus, you have the capability to create an image. Like we saw, we can create a logo. These are some prompts for image creation. You can explain an image as well. This is very cool. So if I just come back here, I can see, I'll just search for any PDF and I'll copy take a screenshot of a chart essentially, right? Let's say this one, right? Now here, one second. I'll take a screenshot of this and I will ask it to explain this to me. You will say that if you spend some time reading it, you will be able to understand it. It's not very complex. But what GPT-4 can do is superb, because in GPT 3.5, you can't paste a screenshot. In 3.5, if I try to paste a screenshot, nothing happens. If I come to 4 and I paste, do you see this safety pin symbol that is coming here? The paperclip symbol, right? Here, this means that you can upload files. So you can choose a file, you can paste, upload a PowerPoint, a PDF, an Excel, a CSV, a Word document, a PPT file, or images directly as well. Now, when I put this image, it is saying that it's a bubble chart, titled Innovation Interest. It visually represents data on various technology trends based on scores for innovation, interest, investment, and adoption rate. Here are some observations. Now, this is the crazy part. I did not ask it to do anything, right? But it is, making its own observations, doing its own critical thinking, and giving you output based on the image that you had supplied. Now, you can ask it for something even crazier, wherein you say that I want to create something for the finance function, right? This is about technology trends. Let's say you want to do something for finance trends, right? So let's try that. I'll stop this prompt, create points in the same structure as the image, scatter chart for finance trends, right? Create points in the same structure as the image, scatter chart for finance trends. I'll press enter and you will see that it's creating an image because I asked it to create an image, but that is fine. Let's look at the output. I don't think the output will be very great because, like I said earlier, with images, it cannot understand text correctly within images, and it is not able to give the correct output with text in the image. It'll make spelling errors. It'll put some weird characters. So it's not the best idea to put text in an image when you want to create it in GPT-4. Let's quickly have a look once this loads. right? Apart from this, if you guys have any specific things that you want to look at, if any specific questions related to ChatGPT, you can, right? So it's created something. It's not going to make sense, right? But it can read that image and create something similar as well. Right? It says that it's on hypothetical data points for finance trends in 2021. Here I can specify I want the points in a table. When I specify that, it'll now not create an image for me, but rather put the points in a table. Also, you will see that GPT 3.5, it responds much faster than GPT 4 because GPT 4 is referring to the internet. It has a later update date, and hence the response time is a little slower. A few seconds, but yeah, right? So it's creating a sample example table for you based on the four parameters: interest, innovation, investment, and adoption that are there in the image. So it's creating something similar for you. So many of the times when you have data like this, right, or when you have a data set and you want to modify the data set to be represented in a specific visual element, this is how you can do it. Right. Guys, any specific questions that you guys have? Any specific thing that you want to look into in GPT? And
Sir, I
I'll
have one question. So
G.
can we create charts on ChatGPT?
Yes, you can. Let's do that.
Sir,
Let me,
on 3.5.
no, on 3 point, like I said, 3.5, you can only upload text and you can get only text as the output. But 3.5 can write code for you. For example, um, let's do it. Let me open Excel. Just give me a second. Let me open an Excel file. Right, I'll show you how it can write code for you. Hmm, I'm just checking if this is the correct file because, yeah, take care. I don't want this. Let me just delete this sheet and save it. And then I'll upload this file in GPT-4. So GPT-4 and GPT-3 both can write code for you. GPT-4 can run the code and give you the output on the screen itself. GPT 3.5 cannot give you the output on the screen. So in that case, you will have to copy that code and put it in Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab, wherever you want to run. It by default writes Python code, right? So I can specify create a line chart for sales across the 4 years. I can upload my file and I can now I knew that the file has sales data. So I specified that create a line chart for sales across 4 years. And you see that here it is writing the Python code for you. Now you can say that it's not going to give me GPT 3.5 can do the exact same thing, but there you will have to describe what you want to do, right? So that'll be a little difficult, but it still works. If you have very specific questions and you're able to correctly explain what your requirement is, GPT 3.5 can write the same exact code for you. There will be no difference in the code. The syntax might be a little here and there, the libraries might be a little here and there, but it will create a workable code for you. GPT 3.5 can do that, GPT 4 can do that. The difference is GPT 4 shows you the output on the screen. GPT 3.5, you copy the code and you go to a different place where you want to run the Python code, and that is where you will see the output. Right? Let's quickly wait for a second. So and it also comments the code. So let's say you're someone new or a beginner who knows a little bit of Python, right? So it is loading the Excel file, then it is displaying the first few rows of the headers of the data frame to understand. So data.head, parentheses, open, close, it is showing me what the data has, right? Then the dataset contains sales transaction with columns such as order date, customer name, city, etc. To create a line chart showing sales across 4 years, I'll aggregate sales. So it knows that since date is at a transactional level, it has to first calculate total sales across all the 4 years. Hence, it is performing an aggregation on sales by year from order date, and it is creating a chart for you. Now, the best part is if you click on this button called View Analysis, you will see the. Let me just zoom out. View analysis, you see the entire code. See the entire code. In fact, no, this is not the code for the chart. The code for the chart is here at the bottom. Yeah. So it is using matplotlib. It is converting date and time, order date to date time and extracting the year, right? Because my order date has month, date, month, and year. Hence, it's extracting the year. That is doing a group by, like you have a group by in SQL, like you create a pivot table, a summary, wherein you group all the years together. It's using data.group by, and then it is plotting the chart. And if you copy this code, you put your file path into the code, and you can run this on whatever environment you want to run it, Python, Google Colab, and it'll give you the exact same output, the exact same output. And you can copy this chart, you can right click, copy the image. Also, you can ask it to, no, you can't save the chart in Excel, but yeah, you can just copy it, take a screenshot, you can copy the image, and you can come back to your PowerPoint and maybe paste it, and you're done. So you don't have to necessarily do the analysis on your system. You can do the analysis in GPT-4 if you have the subscription, right? Or you can at least take ideas about the analysis. You can get the code written. But whenever you're working with code, it is advisable that you have some fundamental understanding rather than just using GPT-4 to copy and paste the code. Because when you're stuck, when there's an error, you'll not be able to debug that error. And then you're stuck in a vicious cycle wherein you're not getting the correct output, right? Any other questions? Any other questions? Anything very specific? Right? So this is the example that we did. There are multiple prompts that you can do from here that you can, ask it to describe the order sheet, show top 10 customers. So if I try the second one, where I say show top 10 customers and create a column chart. So when I say show top 10 customers by sales, again, it'll analyze, it'll write the Python code for you. Now it is not going to read the file and load the file again and again. That it has done only one time because the first time. Because in this chat, it'll go and refer to that file again and again. But if I create a new chat from here, if I create a new chat, it will not be able to refer to this file. This file is only restricted to this chat window, right? And it shows me top 10 customers by sales. Just one prompt, just one prompt. I did not specify column chart, but by default, since I had earlier asked for a chart, it thought that I would still want a chart, and hence it has given me a chart. And the code is available here. Anything specific, guys? Any other questions that you have? Or I'll show you a few more examples. What are some of the free tools? Okay, so this is very cool. There's a tool called Glasp. There is a tool called Glasp. What is the website? GLASP is the tool name. YouTube summary. Right? It's a Chrome extension. So in your Chrome, you can just download this and the extension is available, right? Now the best part is it helps you transcribe YouTube videos. It helps you do what? Transcribe YouTube videos, right? So a podcast that I like to listen to, this one by Nikhil Kamath, right? Let's say you want to listen to the podcast, but you don't have time to listen to the podcast. So what do? You click on the podcast, open the video, right? So the point of today is pause it and mute it. On the right hand side, do you see this transcript and summarize button is appearing? When you click on that, it will create an entire transcript for the video, from the video. And if you click on this button here, it'll take you to ChatGPT. So it'll load the transcript of a 3 hour long video. Mind you, this 3 hours long. It'll load the transcript in GPT. It has done by default in GPT-4 because I have GPT-4, but you can load it in GPT-3 as well. So by default, it writes a prompt, summarize the following in 5 bullet points, right? It is going to give you 5 bullet points. I can go and quickly change that. So if I just, in fact, let me move this to GPT 3.5 because all of you might not have 4. So I'll just copy the prompt. I'll come back here. I'll change this to GPT 3.5. I'll paste it. And rather than writing this here, 5 key takeaways. You give your context, who you are, and you ask it for 5 key takeaways, and it'll write the takeaways for you. It highlights growing interest and investment opportunities in renewable energy, asset financing and vertical integration, business model innovation, challenges and opportunities for EV adoption, environmental sustainability and waste management. You want to write 10 key takeaways? You can write 10. You can write whatever you want. Now that you have the transcript, you're not dependent on going back and watching the video. This saves you so much time because essentially what would happen is you would have spent 3 hours watching the video, understanding it. And when you watch a 3 hour long video, firstly, you're spending time. Secondly, you're not going to remember everything, right? But with the transcript, you're essentially have full control and full power to extract whatever insight you want from two different videos talking about electric vehicles. You can so recently the budget was announced. The budget is announced in the house. So there's a speech that is given. If also this, I think this works only with English, right? But that's just a time constraint. Soon there'll be tools that work with Hindi or other regional languages as well. And then there are no limitations to it, right? It's just how much data can the model be trained on. And that is how the output and the quality of the output will increase. So this is a very super cool tool. It is called GLASP, GLASP, right? Ideogram, I showed you guys. We created the logo for the cafe. Then AI video avatar creation. This is called Veed.io. This is also a very super cool tool. You can put your transcript, whatever you want, whatever you want the AI avatar to speak, and it will create. You can choose one of the avatars that are available, and it will create a video for you. So it's not a real person; it's an AI avatar that is speaking. Then you have this website called Slides GPT that can help you create automated presentations. You just write your theme or your prompt and it'll create the presentation. Let's end with this here. So I'll share this PowerPoint with you guys. You can go back, practice. If you have any questions, you can come back, ask them. These are some people on LinkedIn that you should definitely be following if you want to learn more about new advancements in GPT. What are the best prompts? What are the best practices when writing prompts? What is happening in the world of AI, in the world of generative AI, in the world of LLMs? If you want up-to-date information, and you should have up-to-date information, because as time passes, this is going to just get better and better and better and better, and you should be up to date with it. If you have any specific questions, you can ask them. I am done from my side. Thank you for joining in. Let me just stop presenting my screen.
So what was the name of that AI slide creator?
Slides GPT. Let me put that
Okay.
in the chat as well. There are many. This is the one that we've tried. It does a fairly good job. By the way, now Microsoft Copilot can create PowerPoint presentations for you. So you do not need to go to an external tool, pay someone else on a third-party website. You can say in Microsoft Copilot that refer to this document that is located in such and such folder, or you can put the link of that document and you can ask PowerPoint Copilot to create the PowerPoint based on the document that you have referred to. Any questions? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Perfect. Then I think that was all for this session. It was just to give you an idea of what all GPT is capable of. You're obviously using it, but I hope there were some good takeaways for you in terms of the free tool, writing the prompt, specifying details within the prompt, and others. Perfect. Then I think if there are no questions, we
So,
can. Yeah, Akshit.
so can you again tell how to summarize a YouTube podcast that you
Sure,
told?
sure. I'll share my screen. So you will have to go to this website. Let me just open incognito. Okay. You will have to go to this website and you have to install the add-in on Chrome. If you're on Windows, if you're on Mac, you would install it on Safari. When you install the add-in, it is appear in your, not the add-in, sorry, it's an extension. It's a Chrome extension. It'll appear in your extensions tab at the right top corner. This puzzle piece is your extensions tab. Once you install it, just a second. Yeah, once you install it, install the extension. You don't have to do anything. It will directly be visible here. And whenever you open YouTube, you will see this transcript to summarize button. Let me go to a different broadcast. Let's go to one by Andrew Huberman. Right. Let's open this one. Right. So whenever you open YouTube, you will see this. This is your normal recommendations. And above that, you will see that this rectangular tab has appeared. And when you click on transcript and summarize, in one single click, it will summarize the entire video for you. And then when you click on this symbol for ChatGPT, here you can copy it. Here you can click on it. And if you're logged into GPT, it'll open GPT directly. And whatever default version you have, 3.5 or 4, it'll write a sample prompt at the top, summarize the following in 5 bullet points. You can always go back and change it, and it'll summarize it in 5 bullet points.
So it will only understand English podcast, no?
For now, this one only works with English. I'm sure there must be other tools that work with other languages, but Glass specifically works with English, and it does a fantastic tool. We use it for our own videos as well. So for my own videos, if I have to generate a transcript, since I record my videos in English, I can obviously upload. So it does not work just with very long form videos. For example, let me just show you. So if I just go to my channel, right, and I go to the latest video. Yeah, so I created a new video on understanding aliases in Excel and SQL, right? So it's a 10-minute long video, not a 3-hour podcast. And I can click on transcript and summarize, but since I'm speaking English, it'll summarize the entire, it'll transcribe the entire video for you. And then you can take this to GPT. So it is not just podcasts or long form videos, it can even do so with short form content, right? Let's say you have a 5-minute video and you want to generate more ideas on it. You can use it for that as well. Summarize in 5 bullet points. It tells you what my video has covered. Understanding aliases in Excel versus SQL, giving a custom name to a worksheet, keeping names simple and meaningful. SQL aliases are temporary, renaming of tables or columns within a query. That's how it works.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. If there are no other questions, then I can think we can conclude the call. Thank you for joining in, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
you. Thank you.